Adjusting the camera right now. It should be good. I'm going to get in my seat now. Welcome to those who are joining us. We are now in week 9 of the 2KU season. We'll get there. Apparently a lot of stuff happened today. I already sent the ads out, so I'm going to welcome you guys to today's episode of 2KU Saturdays. We had a lot of tough choices, but ultimately we're going to the cocktail party, the world's largest cocktail party, Florida, Georgia. I sent the link to my server as well as Foxy's. So to anyone from the Foxy Akari server, welcome. But today, we got Florida, Georgia. I'm going to start with the rosters. We'll go Florida first since they're technically the road team. I got something in the pocket I gotta set aside. I'm gonna actually open the window because it's kind of hot in here. That makes it a lot breezier. So let's get cracking. We're going to start with our rosters here. Starting with Florida Gators. The top player on this team being the quarterback number 6, Tyson Benjamin, a junior from Port Charlotte, Florida. We'll head to the backfield. Robert Thornton, the running back from Port Orange, Florida. He's a sophomore and a power back specialist. Markeith Johnson is the fullback from Deltona, Florida. He's a junior. Also in the backfield, Tyson Sherman, true freshman from Cape Coral, Florida. On the receiving corps, Pete Lewis, a redshirt senior from Oak Ridge, Florida. A redshirt junior from Bartow, Florida. His wide receiver, Anthony Young. Let's skip ahead. Hang on. Melvin Clayton, true freshman from Chamblee, Georgia. Frank Johnson, a true senior from Hartselle, Alabama. And Tom Pearson, a sophomore from Englewood, Florida. Tight end Akeem Dahl is the redshirt freshman from Wellington, Florida, who's starting tight end. At left tackle, Spencer Pittman from Hamlet, North Carolina, a true sophomore. Left guard, Landon Potts, redshirt junior from Valdosta, Georgia. Former All-American center, Michael Gay, the redshirt senior from North Miami. Oh, my stream on my other device is paused. Oh, we got the Gay brothers on the right guard, or on the O-line. This is Yusuf Gay, the last guy we saw. That's Michael Gay. Good for them. You have redshirt senior from Plantation, Florida. And the right tackle, redshirt junior Kevin Young from St. Petersburg. Moving on to the defensive side, Lawrence Thompson, a true senior and All-American from Johnson City, New York. On the right end is John Washington, a redshirt junior from Alhambra, California. Another guy made quite the trek to get here. On the interior line for the defensive tackle, 88 overall, All-American, Albert McNeil, redshirt junior from Winter Park, Florida. Alfred Brock, a true junior from Spring Hill, Florida, also on the interior line. Also keep an eye out for Pat McKinley, true senior from Gonzales, Louisiana. Left outside linebacker, starting a true senior from Quincy, Florida, Lionel Williams. Middle linebacker is Brian Reddick, a sophomore from Bellwood, Illinois. And on the right linebacker is David Wheeler, a redshirt freshman from Oviedo, Florida. In the secondary, John Mixon is the big name, the junior from Lauderhill, Florida, a 90 overall. Jesse McKinley is a junior from Jacksonville, playing in his hometown today. I wasn't done with that. I exited out on accident. Hang on. Evan Cook is a senior from Aventura, Florida. And Tim O'Brien, a redshirt junior from Plant City. That wraps up your secondary. A very loaded secondary for the Gators here. That's your cornerback core for your. As for the safeties, your free safety is Javon Jones. Javon Jones, a junior from Apopka, Florida. And the strong safety, John Hines, a redshirt sophomore from Marysville, Michigan. The kicker is Kenyon Gatewood, a redshirt freshman from Conyers, Georgia. And the punter from Fort Wayne, Indiana, a 93 overall junior, Ryan Waters. And now we'll move on to the other side, the 24th ranked Georgia Bulldogs. The quarterback, number 14, is Jarrett Fontaine, a redshirt junior from Winder, Georgia. Your main running back is sophomore Robert Wright out of St. Stephen's, North Carolina, 92 overall. Brandon Smith, a sophomore from Garner, North Carolina, also in the backfield. Not to be confused with the Brandon Smith of Dave's show. Fullback Al Mays is a sophomore from Perry, Georgia. And Ted Jackson, a redshirt freshman from South Augusta, Georgia. Those are your two fullbacks for the Bulldogs. The wide receiving core, Dustin Thomas is a junior from Snellville, Georgia. Tyrell Mendoza, junior from Roswell, Georgia. Darren Fernando, a redshirt senior from Palmetto Estates, Florida. Blair Grigsby, a redshirt junior from Covington, Georgia. And Stephen Owens, a true senior from Seneca, South Carolina. At the tight end, redshirt sophomore, 86 overall from Lowell, Massachusetts, Nick Roos. On the offensive line, the left tackle is Chase Washington, a junior from Atmore, Alabama. J.J. Schrodinger is a senior from Bainbridge, Georgia. He's your left guard. At center, true junior from Forest Park, Georgia, is Jamal Bates. At right guard, Fred Burnett, a redshirt senior from Tucker, Georgia. And at right tackle, Adam Davis, a sophomore from Bayonet Point, Florida. On the defensive side of the ball, Joe Green, an 87 overall true senior from Gresham Park, Georgia. Right end, Lamar Adams is a junior from Toccoa, Georgia. He's a right end. Defensive tackle on the interior line, redshirt freshman Lauren Adams from Vinings, Georgia. Wesley Young, a redshirt junior from Perry, Georgia. And Mike Stewart, a junior from Wrightsville, GA. At the linebacker core, All-American redshirt senior from Fitzgerald, Georgia, Marcus Daly. At the middle linebacker, Keel Nelson, a junior from Fort Valley, Georgia. And on the right outside linebacker, Kyle Skinner, a sophomore from Country Club Estates, Georgia. In the secondary, Shedrick Ryan, a junior from South Augusta. Jeremy James, a sophomore from Pulaski, Tennessee. Jermaine Scott, a true freshman from Garden City, Georgia. Napoleon Lewis, a redshirt junior from Fort Stewart, Georgia, and Tim Morrow, a true freshman from St. Mary's, Georgia. At free safety is Desmond Jackson, a junior from Thomasville, GA. And at strong safety is Josh Tompkins, a sophomore out of St. Simon's, GA. The kicker is Brian Lee, a sophomore from Palm Coast, Florida. And the punter is a sophomore from Tucker, Georgia. That's Marcus Wesley. So now let's get to the actual game. Before we do that, I'm actually want to take a look at the coaches for this one. Skip ahead to the SEC. The head coach for the Florida Gators is Ryan Dukes. And the head coach for Georgia is Curtis Andrews. I'll head out now and actually play a game. Set the mic down for a second so I can actually get to the teams. Not much uniform changes here. I'm actually going to swap Georgia here. Actually, I'll compare. Yeah, it's about the same. I'll do this one. Florida's not much doing. No. Yeah, we'll just do that. Yeah, we'll just do this. About even. Florida has some slight advantages, but Georgia has been rolling through the schedule, as we'll see. This is Everbank Field, now TIAA Bank Field. And for the first time, they'll be playing this game under the lights. Let's get things rolling. I'm going to give a quick debriefing on where these teams stand right now in the SEC before we get the game started. I want to, of course, shout out my 2KU Weekly co-host Danny V for creating a very easy to follow stat sheet. Contains all the records. Great resource, and he's just really good with this kind of stuff. But we'll take a look at the SEC standings. The games this week weren't updated yet, but there weren't many standings changes. Right now, the top team in the SEC East is Georgia Tech, rumbling through a 7-0 regular season. Oh, speak of the devil. Game day was amazing. Speak of the devil. Welcome, Danny. I'm just here checking the stat sheet right now. Yeah, right now Georgia Tech is sitting on top of the division. Though technically Georgia technically has better odds of winning the division. Right now, both Georgia and Georgia Tech are sitting at 3-0 on the conference record. Florida is 3-2. They had some tough losses earlier in the year to the top two teams, LSU and Georgia Tech. They had a bye last week. Georgia last week was also off since they both traveled to Jacksonville. Florida's last game was a 34-17 loss to Georgia Tech. Georgia was able to wallop Ole Miss 37-0. So right now it's both the Georgia schools in the East. A peek into the West. It's currently LSU's division to win. They are 3-0. They can pick up. LSU currently has a pretty easy schedule ahead of them for the next at least 2 weeks. They only need 2 wins to clinch the division. They play Georgia Tech, though, in week 11. That'll definitely be a potential destination for the stream. Hopefully, I'll remember to plug my computer in, which I did this time. But without further ado, let's get into the game. We did actually have one team clinch their division this week. And not in any of the big conferences. That would be the Sun Belt West was clinched this week by North Texas with their win over Louisiana Monroe. They are now 5-0 in conference and have officially clinched their division. They'll play in the Sun Belt Championship game in New Orleans. But right now, it's Florida Georgia time at Everbank Field. We all picked the Bulldogs to win this one. Danny had Danny's picks on the Discord. Don't forget to join the Discord, by the way. I picked them on 2K Weekly, as they're a good friend to Pig Bear. This is Robert Wright, the sophomore running back. He's the big name on this Georgia offense. There's the quarterback backing up. There's the throw out to Wright, and that's a first down. Carrying the running back, or carrying the defender all the way across the line. Sam Little is the quarterback here for Georgia. Here's Little stepping back again. Throwing over the middle, caught. It's the big man, Nick Roos, the tight end. Just short of the first down, though. It'll be second in inches. Big run for the first down for Tyrell Mendoza. Now, Georgia is hoping. Georgia, if they can't win today, they'll have to be Tigers fans in that game they have against Georgia Tech. There's a throw caught for 7 yards to Brandon Smith. Again, this is a different Brandon Smith than the one at Dave's show. Run just enough for the first for Wright. This is 1st and 10 now from the Florida 35. Handoff to Wright. Room up the middle, and he'll get 8 yards. A classic rivalry. Nothing quite like it here in Jacksonville. Your 2nd and 2. Handoff left side. First down. Robert Wright methodical. Play action Little. Throwing over the top. Mendoza will get 7 yards. There's a handoff. That's another one to Brandon Smith. Touchdown, Georgia. rumbling his way into the end zone, and Georgia scores first. Boom. What a big hit. The ultimate stiff arm to get into the end zone. And it'll be 7-0 Bulldogs. But can the Gators respond? They'll get the ball from the goal line to the 10 to the 15, 20 to about the 29-yard line. Here are the Gators. This crowd is loud. I don't know if you can hear it that well on the mic. There's the handoff to Thornton. It'll lose to Joe Green with the TFL. Another handoff. This one's much more successful to the first down line. Robert Thornton gets 15. Taking it himself. He'll get about 6. Tyson Benjamin, your starting quarterback for the Gators. Benjamin. Got to look out, throwing this one wide open. First down to the 36. Pete Lewis with the reception. Starting in between 3 Georgia defenders. For the first time today, Florida is in Georgia territory. Option play to Thornton. That won't get anything. A powerful stop by Georgia's defense. Danny, if you're here right now, can you give us a rundown on these teams and where they stand offensively and defensively? There's a keeper. Oh, fumble the ball! Picked up by Georgia, and it's going the other way. Out of bounds at the 37. The quarterback keeper turns disastrous. And now it all turns around for Georgia. Only 5 yards to gain for Wright. There's the handoff. First down to about midfield for Wright. From the Florida 49. Here's Little. Throwing over the middle. Caught. First down. Justin Thomas with 14 yards. Little. Throwing this one up there. Intercepted. And this one's going Florida's way. A big catch for Mason, who gets the pick. Florida will be starting deep in their own territory. Benjamin, keeper. Oh, there's a hole. Oh, what a hit. He got airborne. That's the definition of a clothesline tackle. Oh, what a great fake on the option. And he'll get the first down. Fumbled again. He'll be out of bounds. Another Georgia fumble, but this time it will be in Florida's favor. Georgia's number 2 in offense in the SEC. Florida's tied in 8th with Tulane, who's in the SEC West. Throwing this one, caught. Big hit again. Akeem Dahl gets 8 yards. Only 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Ball about the 43. Here's a handoff to Thornton once again. He's got room to run. He'll get 8 yards. I sense a defensive scrum in this one. Very reminiscent to what we saw in the Illinois-Michigan game last week. Keeper. Oh, and he evades the tackler for a first down. As the clock will tick, that'll most likely be the end of the first quarter. There will be one more play. Holding in midfield, he runs it himself. He's got good running skills, and he will get the first down. There's the only touchdown in this game. 7-0 after 1. Georgia's dead last on defense in the conference. Florida is 7th. So very surprising to see this defensive scrimmage here. Is from the end zone. Intercepted. That's James with the interception. We are a yard away from being tied in total offense. Here's Little throwing over the middle. Caught. Oh, what a hit. Right, absolutely flattened on the play by number 12 there. Here's 2nd and 5. Oh, pressured, sacked. It'll be ruled incomplete. Every big hit in the book. Here's another chance. Little stepping back, throwing to the left side, and not enough for the first. Right will be a yard short. And that'll be a 3-and-out. And now Florida will hopefully get some better field position and a better drive out of this. What a big punt. Taking to the 30, 40. Weaving to the 45. We'll get to the 47-yard line. Here's 1st and 10. Pardon me, I'm fiddling with the fruit by the foot right now. Here's a handoff, stuffed. Thornton will lose 4. He'll lose 4 yards on the big defensive scrum. 2nd and 14. Benjamin throwing, caught, and not only get a yard to Akeem Dahl, He's got 2 receptions today. Here's Benjamin. Got to step way back, throwing it on a screen. Not enough for the first. 7 yards for Thornton, but it'll still be 4th and 6. And they're going to punt it. Here's Ryan Waters on the punt. Related to NASCAR driver Brandon Waters, and he'll put it all the way in the end zone for a touchback. Georgia is 3rd and Florida is 8th on defense. Pardon me. Throwing this one deep and incomplete. Here's Little throwing incomplete. He stepped out of bounds. Here's 3rd and 10. Don't want another 3 and out. Plenty of time for Little. But the pocket's collapsing. He's got to throw it and he won't get it. He's sacked. Albert McNeil. How fitting that Big Al gets the sack for Florida. And that's a 3 and out. Gonna punt from their own end zone. Punts away. Yeah, I'll get to the 31. Oh, he's got blockers. He'll get to the 48. Yeah, Florida's remaining games. They got Auburn, Ole Miss, Miami, and Florida State on the schedule. Florida very well could win out. This is their toughest game remaining on the schedule. We do have a freeze, but Georgia Tech. Georgia's schedule is not nowhere near as easy. They got Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech still on the schedule. Tennessee being the other team still in the race for the SEC. They would need a miracle to win it, but they're not out of it yet. There's a run by the quarterback, and he's going to lose 3 yards. That's a sack. Kiel Nelson. Kiel. It'll be 3rd and 12. Turn it up a little. There's a throw on the screen to Thornton. Oh, and he's flattened. And that's another 3 and out. That's the 4th straight 3 and out, if I'm correct. Josh Tompkins got the tackle. They're faking the punt. Oh, what a hit on Johnson. And it's not enough. They faked it. Good effort. Oh, but even better effort on the tackle by number 2. Little throwing this one to the sideline. Oh, what a catch for the first down by Robert Wright. A dual threat. A certified flat Stanley Classic. Thank you, Jack and a Mac. Hand off to Wright, and he's stuffed. The TFL goes to Evan Cook. Yeah, Georgia just burst in the top 25 this week. They're 6 and 1. Florida is sitting at 4 and 3. Gators effectively out of the conference race, but they can play spoiler tonight, and that's all that matters to them. Only 2 for Wright. It'll be a 3rd and 13. Georgia's 0 for 2 on third down. Little throwing this one a rocket, first down and more. Timeout, Georgia, 25-yard reception. They've only been in the end zone, in the red zone once, and they scored that time there. Play action, Little up there. He's got a man. Touchdown, Georgia. Darren Fernando. And this puts the Georgia Bulldogs up 2 scores. Aga not having to do a lot of push-ups today. There's a touchback. Georgia's defense is incredible this game. Not necessarily just for how many yards they've allowed and numbers on the sheet, but just in terms of flash. I've never seen this flashy a defense in one of these streams. Here's Benjamin. Another freeze. I got to turn that fan on. I'll get to it at halftime. Benjamin throwing. This one's caught to the 49. Akeem Dahl. Another reception for the tight end. I'm going to quickly wheel around and get the fan on. That should solve that problem. Here's Benjamin throwing over the middle, caught. And only get 2. Robert Thornton on the reception. Welcome, Pig Bear. Welcome, everyone here. You join us in a defensive scrum here. 14-0 Bulldogs. Benjamin throwing up there. Caught in traffic. Melvin Clayton, first down. There's the Florida offense that's been struggling all day. Even in first downs. 8-8. Benjamin throwing to the left, caught. That'll be 3 yards for Clayton. 2nd and 7 from the 31. Hi, Benjamin fumbles. Florida will pick it up, and it'll be a loss for 2. Credited a sack. Benjamin. Pressure, sacked. And there's another one, and that'll stall the defense. 4th and 16. That's the number 7. It's Lewis. Benjamin is not having stuff today. This is from 57 yards. That'll be the longest field goal we've seen this season. We had one tie it in the Illinois-Michigan game. That was a 55, 56 yarder. This is from 57. 22 seconds to go. They're going to run the clock out as little as they can get it. There'll be about 10 seconds when they kick it. Kicks on the way. And he made it. 57 yards. And they'll kick it deep. 5 seconds to go in the half. This will likely be the end of the first half. They will get one last play. 2 seconds to go. They'll likely just heave it up and see what happens. Or run it up the middle. And the handoff, and that'll be the end of your first half. 14-3 the score. The number 24 Bulldogs up. Yeah, Pig Bear, your prediction is holding on.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. David J. Pollock here in the studio as always to lend a little perspective to what just went down in the first 30 minutes. It is my job to come in and rain on a parade. I know everything's gone right.
Here's halftime. Georgia's been dominating today. This is a big highlight for Florida. Diving, toes in interception. There's just been picks all day. But this is a low-scoring defensive scrum. Georgia leading passing yards, 113-81. Florida on top in rush yards, 64-50. Florida leads time of possessions, and Georgia only has one turnover to Florida's two. The kicker had himself a day. You're right. RAM is happy.
David and I will stay locked in on everything going on in college football. Going to wrap it up here in the studio. Just about time to get you out.
And we're gonna head back to the game. Danny, any big score updates you want to post in the chat? As we're back underway for the second half. Florida gets the ball back. They have yet to score a touchdown today. Tennessee, IRL is dominating. Oh, what was that play? Was that a Statue of Liberty? Is that the elusive Statue of Liberty? I haven't seen one of those run by the computer ever. Handoff, Thornton on the option. And then they'll get 6 yards on the play. 3rd and 2. He's back up. Update the sheet. You do your magic there, Danny. He's the one who does all the math that makes this possible. Al approves. 1st down, Florida, Robert Thornton. There's another handoff to Thornton. Ooh, the collarbone tackle. I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you were here for it, but this Georgia defense today, not incredible on numbers, but probably one of the flashiest defenses I've seen. So many big hits in this game. And there's another hit, a sack on the QB run. Tyson Benjamin loses 4. Marcus Daly gets the sack. His 2nd TFL of the game. Stepping back. Benjamin to throw. Over the middle. Diving catch, but it's not enough for the 1st down. Tom Pearson. Just short. And they're going to punt it 4th and 1 from the 49. They went for it before. They're going to try and block this punt. They'll pin him. Good punt. I didn't see how far it went. That's Ryan Waters, relative of reigning NASCAR champion Brandon Waters. It'll be Florida will pin him back to the 14. 5 wide for Georgia. Little. Playing time to throw it. He'll heave it to the sideline. Oh, what a catch by Dustin Thomas. Diving over a defender. And there's the 1st down for Georgia. Little. Pressured, sacked. Evan Cook gets the sack, his second TFL, and third tackle. Here's 2nd and 16 for the Bulldogs. Handoff. Nothing. 2 yards for Robert Wright. 3rd and 14. Playing time for Little. Throwing over the middle. Wide open man! 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Bulldogs. A rocket over midfield. Tyrell Mendoza. We'll wait for the official number. Wide open. And he's gone. That's the big play I've been waiting for this whole series. See the official number? An 85-yard drive. I don't know. They don't say how long that last play was, but it's now a 21-3 game. He kicks away. Taken by Florida in their own end zone. And we'll get to the 22. Throwing on a screenplay. And only get a yard to Anthony Young. A handoff. Rumbling just short of the first. Robert Thornton. Only 37 rushing yards on the day. Florida, terrible on third down today. 1 for 5. Here's the quarterback trying to run it, and he will get sacked. Marcus Daly once again gets a sack. That's the second of the game. He's on the ground mere moments before bringing down the quarterback. And they're gonna punt it again. Another 3 for Florida. 2:05 in the third. Waters will punt it away. All the way into the end zone. Here's Little. I'll throw that one out of bounds. It's all Georgia so far, 21-3. Throwing this one to the right. That is Robert Wright for 5 yards. It's just right to put right on the right, you know? Little. Had a lot of success through the air today. That one will be ruled inbounds. Stephen Owens, first down. So I wouldn't be surprised if they review it. They will not. Little, once again, plenty of time to throw. Oh, we gotta watch out. Throwing this one deep. Intercepted. It's number 15 yet again. John Mixon. 2 picks. And now Florida's got to capitalize. They haven't been able to do it all day. They've had a myriad of 3-and-outs and costly turnovers. There's a 4-yard gain for Robert Thornton. Hasn't even gotten to 50 yards on the day. Oh, he trips. I don't know what that animation was. Well, that's a not top 10 right there. Big tackle on Thornton. Another 4-yard gain. 3rd and 2. You got to convert a 3rd down eventually. 40 seconds to go in the 3rd. They hand it off to Thornton a 3rd time. There's your 1st down. That makes them 2 of 7 on 3rd down as the ball will be placed at 41, 1st and 10 Gators. Another handoff, that'll get nothing. Clock ticks down in the 3rd. Last play of the quarter, throwing up there. Oh, what a pick! The 2nd pick for Tyson Benjamin. That's number 39. Leaping up for an interception. Jackson. And they'll have one more play in the quarter. Little. Throwing this one, caught. And an 8-yard reception for Darren Fernando. And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. 21-3 the score. I was expecting Florida to show up, but their offense hasn't been there at all. Their offensive production is so bad, we're getting highlight reels in between quarters with a punter. As you saw Waters there, there's an easy 1st down for Robert Wright. There's a handoff, and that will get 3 yards on that play. Little. Looking, he'll throw it over the middle. There's a catch and a 1st down. Tyrell Mendoza on the play. I wouldn't say either quarterback's had that great a day if both quarterbacks had thrown 2 picks. First and 10 from the 17-yard line. Georgia's 2 for 2 when they actually managed to reach the red zone. Can they score again? Little over the middle, caught. They'll get 6. Nick Roos with his 2nd reception of the night. Speaking of, this is the first time the Florida-Georgia game has been played under the lights. 315 yards to 188. Complete offensive domination. There's a throw, incomplete. Over the head of the receiver. 3rd and 4. Georgia's 3 of 5 on 3rd down. Here's Little. Throwing over the middle. Caught! Oh, he's going to be short of the end zone, though. But Mendoza will get 9 yards and reset the downs. to make it a 28-3 game. Pitching it, stuffed. A loss of 3 for Wright. Throwing it on a screen. You only get 2 yards gained. 3rd and goal. Handoff. That's Brandon Smith. Touchdown, Georgia. Second touchdown of the day. And it'll be a now 25-point game with the PAT. And it's good. Now, I know there's a lot of mythos surrounding the score of 28-3. But being entirely honest, I don't think that this is a lead that the Gators can come back from. Kicks away. Taken from the end zone. It only gets to the 26. Especially with how well this Georgia defense has been playing. Look at that. 5 sacks, 2 picks, and a forced fumble today for the Georgia offense. Here's Benjamin. Throwing this one up there. Wide open. First down. Melvin Clayton. From 46, 1st and 10. Benjamin keeper. Running. Fumbled. Picked up by the lineman. Yusuf Gay, one of the Gay brothers on the O-line for Florida, picks it up. It'll be a 4-yard gain. It's Yusuf and Michael Gay on the O-line. Benjamin keeps it again. And this time he's, just short of the first down. Third and inches, Florida, a ghastly, ghoulish 2-7 on the 3rd down conversion. But this time they will get it, and he's got room to run. To the 29, Florida has all 3 timeouts. I think the best the Gators can hope for is to at least make this a 23-10 final score. 2:50 to go. Benjamin. He's going to keep it again. He's got a bit of room to run. Defense completely slowing down. Oh, what a hit. I don't know why everyone was slowing down right there. And then, who is it? Number 39 there lays a huge hit. 2:30 to go. Florida eyeing the end zone, most likely. He's going to keep it again. Oh, he's got room. He'll slide. 2:20 to go. Tick, 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 tick. On a screen, he will step out of bounds. 2-yard gain for Tyson Sherman. Another Tyson on the team. Benjamin throwing over the middle. First down. Pete Lewis. You got to hurry. Less than 2 minutes if you want any hope of keeping this game anywhere near a close game. Gonna hand it off to Thornton. A 2-yard gain. I think best case scenario, this is another Michigan scenario where you only get it in the end zone in the last moments. They're bundled up on the line. Stopped. And now it's another 3rd down. 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Keeper stuffed. And now you got to go for it. You have no other choice. And they will. Less than a minute to go. Florida had a fake punt earlier that failed. Can they convert on 4th down this time? If not, this game's over. Benjamin throwing out of bounds. Nowhere to throw it. And Georgia will get the ball back. 48 seconds to go. Handoff. A 3-yard gain. Florida's got their timeouts. They're not going to use them. This game's going to end at the final score of 28-3. Handoff. And that will be the final play of regulation. Georgia. Big win. In Jacksonville, they take down the Gators. 28-3, the final score. There's your play of the game. Big throw. Tyrell Mendoza, the receiver. Easy touchdown, Georgia. Only easy points in this game went the way of the Bulldogs. Florida's offense couldn't even show up. Completely suffocated by the Bulldog defense. And this has effectively eliminated the Gators from the SEC East Division race. As there's your final score once again. Brandon Smith, the big stiff arm at the beginning of the game. Smith would end up having 2 touchdowns. As would Little through the air. That was the first. This is the second play of the game here. Tyrell Mendoza. A wide open catch. And he just rumbles down the field. And there's the other touchdown for Smith on the goal line. All Georgia defensively. All Georgia offensively. I hate to throw around the word, but this was a good old-fashioned blowout. Let's take a look at some stats. Look at the summary. Not a lot of scoring to begin with, and then it just got out of hand. A 71-yard pass was the score. It was a 56-yarder, so it is not the longest. It does tie the record, though, that we saw last week. The CPU, oddly enough, really accurate with field goals. We're going to player stats. Sam Little, 169.3 QBR. He's 19 for 26, 267 yards, 2 TDs, 2 INTs. 73% completion. Completion percentage. Tyson Benjamin was a much better much better running quarterback than he was a passer. He was 14 for 17, 120.5 QBR, 2 picks, no touchdowns, 82% completion percentage on the run. Benjamin, the lead runner, at 71 yards, Thornton had 55. No one got in the end zone. Georgia got 2 touchdowns on the run from the backup halfback, Brandon Smith. The lead guy, Robert Wright, only had 53 yards on the run. Sam Little lost 10. And Mendoza got 7 rushing yards. On the receiving end, Wright was the lead receiver with 6 receptions for 39 yards. Mendoza had the largest total yards, 105 receiving yards on the day with the touchdown. Darren Fernando was the other guy with a reception touchdown. As we look at the other guys who got receptions, Dustin Thomas, Nick Roos, Stephen Owens, and Brandon Smith. Check Florida's receiving core, but I don't think there's much to see here. Thornton had 13 yards, 32 for Akeem Dahl, 40 for Melvin Clayton. Pete Lewis had 26, 11 for Tom Pearson. Sherman and Young combined for 3. On the defensive side of the ball, that's where all the big stats are. 6 tackles for John Hines and Evan Cook. Leader in TFLs was Cook with 2. Albert McNeil and Ryan Sowell both had 1. 2 sacks for the Gators. McNeil and Cook both got 1. There was an interception, 2 by the hands of John Mixon. But Georgia is where it is at defense. The leader, a tie for leading tackler, Marcus Daly and Desmond Jackson both had 8. As for TFLs, the leader is Marcus Daly. Daly had 2 sacks. Also, sacks went to Joe Green, Napoleon Lewis, Keel Nelson as well had a sack. And 2 picks to go around. Jeremy James and Desmond Jackson both got interceptions. And of course, you had... Oh, the kicker didn't even come on once for Georgia. Aside from the PATs, but Kenyon Gatewood had a 57. Oh, this calls it 57 yards. This does call it 57. So Kenyon Gatewood is currently the leader in the longest field goal race. Nabs the title away from Michigan's kicker, who nabbed it from UAB's kicker. Nothing to report on kicking and punt returns, so we'll go to the team stats. 28-3. Nearly even in first downs, 13-14. Florida had more. 336 yards to 257. Rushing game, complete no-show for Georgia, surprisingly. The passing game was where it's all at for Georgia. Only 125 yards for the Gators, though. 5 of 7, 3 of 9. Georgia really good on third down. Florida awful on third down. 2 fourth down conversions, neither went anywhere. Florida went to the red zone only once this game. They couldn't even score, though. They fumbled it, I believe. There's a fumble from the quarterback, Tyson Benjamin. 2 interceptions apiece. Florida dominating in time of possession. And in terms of total yards, Florida had the edge. Imagine leading total yards, but you can't even score. And we will end this one. This will wrap us up. We'll take a look at the stats. And I will hop on call. 20-3 once again. Florida leading in a lot. They led in rushing yards, first downs, and time of possession. The passing yards and turnovers just weren't there for them. They were for Georgia, though. Players of the week, players of the game, Tyrell Mendoza had 4 receptions, 105 yards, and a touchdown. Keel Nelson had 5 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. Kenyon Gatewood had the 57-yard kick and 2 tackles and 2 picks for John Mixon on the Florida Gators. That'll wrap us up for today. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to join the Discord server. I will be heading on there shortly, Danny. I'm going to sign off here for you guys. Thank you all for watching. We will see you around.